Ever feel like you're drowning in debt with liabilities pulling you down like a lead weight? It's a common struggle. Liabilities, whether they come in the form of loans, credit card debt, or other obligations, can seriously undermine our financial stability. They can make us feel trapped, as if we're constantly working just to keep our heads above water. The key to breaking free? Converting these liabilities into assets. But what if we told you there's a way to turn these liabilities into assets? It sounds like magic, right? Well, it can be done. To start off, we need to understand what liabilities and assets really are. Imagine your financial life as a balanced scale. On one side, you have liabilities. These are like the heavy weights that pull down your wealth. Liabilities can be debts you owe, or any obligation that takes away from your financial resources. These can be things such as loans, credit card debts, or even bills that need to be paid. On the other side of the scale, you have assets. These are the resources you own that push the scale upwards, increasing your wealth. They can be tangible like your house, car, or cash in the bank. But they can also be intangible, like investments, shares, or even your skills and knowledge that can generate income. So the goal here is to transform what's taking away from your wealth into something that adds to it. Now it's time to dive into the nitty-gritty of transforming liabilities into assets. First off, we need to identify and list down all our liabilities. This could include anything from a car loan, a mortgage, credit card debt, or other financial obligations. It's essential to have a clear picture of all the liabilities to know what we're working with. Next, we need to evaluate each liability for its potential to become an asset. This step requires a bit of creativity, and it's where the magic happens. For instance, do you have a personal car that's considered a liability? Well, think about how you might be able to turn it into a revenue-generating asset, like using it for a rideshare service. Or perhaps you have a spare room in your home that's sitting idle. That could be rented out to generate some extra income. Once you've identified the potential, it's time to create a strategic plan. Let's say you've decided to use your car for a rideshare service. Your plan might include steps like researching the best rideshare platforms, getting the necessary permits, and setting aside specific hours for this work. Similarly, if you plan to rent out a portion of your home, you might need to consider things like home renovations, listing your space on rental platforms, and understanding the tax implications. Now comes the implementation part. This is where you put your plan into action. You might start driving for a rideshare service after your day job, or you might start renting out your spare room. It's all about taking consistent steps toward your goal. And lastly, remember that this process won't be instantaneous. It requires patience and consistent effort. You might not see results immediately, but don't get disheartened. Keep at it, adjust your strategy as needed, and soon enough, you'll start to see your liabilities transform into valuable assets. Remember, the transformation won't happen overnight. It requires patience and consistent effort. It's a lot to take in, so let's quickly recap what we covered. First, we defined what liabilities and assets are. A liability is something you owe, while an asset is something that brings in money. Understanding this distinction is the first step towards financial wisdom. Next, we delved into the process of converting liabilities into assets. It's not a magic trick, nor is it an overnight transformation. It requires a systematic approach, strategic planning, and above all, patience and consistency. We started by identifying our liabilities. It's crucial to have a clear understanding of what we owe. Once we have this list, we can prioritize them based on their impact on our financial health. Then, we discussed the importance of generating income streams. This could be through investments, a side hustle, or simply improving your skills to increase your earning potential. The key is to make your money work for you. We also stressed the significance of reducing and eventually eliminating unnecessary expenses. This isn't about depriving yourself, but rather about making smart decisions that contribute to your financial well-being. Lastly, we talked about the power of compounding and how it can help grow your assets over time. This is where patience comes into play. Remember, it's not about getting rich quick, it's about building long-term financial security. By converting liabilities into assets, you're not just clearing debt, you're building a stronger financial future. So start today and turn your financial world around.